Hey, howdy do out there everyone, my name is Michael and welcome to the Duke Corner, where I do the doodles for practice and fun. Remember this?
Have peered into the deep soul of the emptiest void.
Well, it's here, and I'm ready to share with you my beautiful abomination. I wasn't tasked with anything in particular. I'm part of the Ceremonies and Insignia Committee in the OA, and I did an episode about the Ceremonies Committee a few weeks ago. Check that out if you want to, I sure would be glad if you did. But I'm also in the Insignia Committee, which designs all of the patches, logos, shirts, and all of the other things that the OA wants designed. Of course, I think I'm the only designer in that group, but regardless, the point is that I wasn't told to make these. We were just setting up for making some ideas for an event called NOAC, and I was jokingly suggested on a campout that I make some Sailor Moon patches, because wouldn't that be funny? And while normally that would have been outrageous and obscene, I was
Inspired!
And so I set to work remorselessly without a second thought. I tried a method for this project using image trace, after I photoshopped all the backgrounds out of the images. Image trace was not having it with the detail and sometimes with the pixelation of the rather low-res images I chose. It was just a test experiment after all, but image trace takes a picture and turns it into a set of colors, kind of like a color blocky, cel-shaded kind of vector style looking thing. But I needed higher resolution images, so in my search for higher quality images, I found a website with Sailor Moon computer backgrounds, and to be fair, they aren't technically allowed to be used in this way, but they were free high-res downloads, and I'm not selling these, so it's all fine by me. Technically, not breaking any laws. Just call this fair use. It's a statement on the identity of Sailor Moon. These images were already color blocked out, so the image trace had a lot of an easier time working with them. And after some fiddling with the control panel, I still couldn't get them to work quite perfectly, so I had to do some cleanup and expand them by, adding some extra shapes and stuff to the characters so that they all fit on the page. But in the end, even with that little extra work, it worked out pretty grand, and I didn't have to do all too much to actually make the figures. Which is great, because even in my head, I was making this to be beautiful. I, still basically just was born from a joke. And it's not like I was intending these to actually be sellable. So, the less effort, the better. So anyway, I took the characters, and I had to do some pretty substantial research on what they even were, because I've never watched Sailor Moon, and I, for the life of me, couldn't figure out which ones of them were in the main cast of, I think it's 5. I'm still not entirely sure, but I think that this is the main cast of them. And I positioned them on the patches once I was done with them, and image trace cut out each of their respective planets to set behind them. I added a pretty simple, just 3 bars of color for a background that I made after I realized that the whole realistic night sky thing really wasn't working, and designed the flap patch, which is the top segment that goes on the pocket flap, with all of the Lodge and NOAC info, as well as the logo, the bear, and the arrow that I made in the Ceremonies video, which I reused here. Why make it again after all? The whole thing came out, in the words of my brother, and I'm paraphrasing here, it's great, and they will love it. I hate that it is, but I can't deny that it looks good. That's all I needed to feel validated in my horrible choices. And now you all get to see these horrible choices too. I hope you all enjoy my beautiful abominations. This is definitely a portfolio piece for sure. It would be if I'd made the character art myself. But still, even at all this, I really don't know anything about Sailor Moon, so I hope this resonates with someone. The combination of Sailor Moon and Boy Scouts was something that was never meant to exist and will never exist again. I don't think in all of my life I've seen anything that relates anime and Boy Scouts together, especially not a magical girls anime. I don't mean to be so harsh on my own work calling it abomination. I really do actually like this. So if you liked it as well, do all that likes and bells and subscribble stuff, and without further ado, farewell.